Raise your hand if you've already scrolled through social media today. Good, I'm not the only one. Now keep it raised if while scrolling, you saw something that made you feel behind or less than. Maybe it was a friend's flawless vacation, a colleague's award announcement, or a perfectly styled kitchen that somehow screamed at you. You're not doing enough, or you are not enough. We log off, but the messages stay. Smooth that wrinkle, build a personal brand, get the perfect score, raise gifted kids, stay fit, and never, ever fall apart. The more you scroll, the more you feel like there's something missing in your life or wrong with you. And so by 9 a.m., many of us already feel inadequate. And these days, we all experience this constant dull ache of consistent comparison and inferiority. And that dull ache is perfectionism. It's not ambition, it's not discipline, it's this behind-the-scenes belief that you're never quite enough. We used to think perfectionism was just an individual's problem, but today, I want to draw your attention to the fact that modern perfectionism is likely a public health crisis. It's not just impacting that overtly meticulous human sitting in a corner color-coding their calendar. It is affecting all of us like a hidden epidemic. There are 3 types of perfectionism, and research shows they're all on the rise. Number 1, self-oriented. I must be perfect. Number 2, other-oriented. I expect others around me to be perfect. Number 3, socially prescribed. The whole world demands perfection from me. The type that is rising the fastest is also the most damaging, socially prescribed perfectionism. Here, the pressure isn't just coming from inside you, it's coming from everywhere. Society, culture, institutions, even strangers online. Back in 1991, researchers found that socially prescribed perfectionism was most strongly linked with maladaptive psychological distress, things like anxiety and depression. By 2017, a large study revealed it wasn't just more harmful, it was also rising faster than ever. The same study found a 33% increase in young people believing they must be perfect to be accepted. This isn't just about color-coded calendars and perfectly manicured nails anymore. This is about questioning the root of what we're all suffering with on a massive scale. Perfectionism is negatively impacting our minds, our bodies, our performance, our parenting, and our social lives. It is linked with chronic loneliness, eating disorders, body dysmorphia, and more. Perfectionism can even change your biology, altering cortisol rhythms, disrupting sleep patterns, contributing to burnout, potentially making us more vulnerable to chronic inflammation. And here's the dramatic twist. According to scientific data, perfectionists do not have a performance advantage over non-perfectionists, all things considered. Case in point, this talk on perfectionism being given by a perfectionist didn't seem perfect enough for a long time. Now, I must address the elephant in the room. Am I giving you permission to be lazy, dare I say, or encouraging you in that direction? Does letting go of perfectionism mean you're letting go of your ambition and drive? No. There is a difference between healthy pursuits versus perfectionism. Perfectionists operate from a space of deficit thinking. Perfectionism says, I must hide my flaws. Healthy drive says, I want to grow. The difference is, are you running towards greatness or running away from your perceived imperfections? Perfectionism creates what I call an expectation gap, the widening space between our true, messy, beautifully human selves and the airbrushed image society expects us to project. And in this widening expectation gap lies our most painful recognition that we'll never be enough, that we're tired of hiding behind this facade. It turns life into an exhausting and painful performance. This expectation gap is now an industry. Entire sectors profit from convincing us we're not enough, and in our quest for perfection, we cling tightly to what feels like diligence, productivity, and even moral superiority. I know I did. Let me take you to 2 pivotal moments in my own life. The first, a couple of years ago, I was sitting alone in my car at a red light thinking, does my life even matter? Not poetically, literally. On paper and online, my life looked perfect. Dr. Amna Shabbir. But in reality, I was being crushed under the weight of postpartum depression and anxiety. A big reason why I concealed my mental health struggles was that everyone around me seemed to have it all perfectly together, so I told myself it must just be me. That's the trap of socially prescribed perfectionism. It teaches you to suffer in silence and alone. Fast forward, we arrive to moment number 2. My daughter comes home from school one day and hands me her test, 99 out of 100. And then she says, "Don't even look at that, Mommy. I know I was stupid." That sentence shattered me. I remembered the first time I had called myself stupid. I was only 8. And since then, I learned how to criticize myself in 1,000 silent ways without even consciously thinking or speaking a single word to my child. I had passed down my perfectionism. So I decided to study perfectionism, not in a lab, but from collective lived experiences. I interviewed some of the most brilliant minds, and I asked them, how do I stop myself from constantly feeling like I'm falling short? How do I stop constantly living in productivity mode? How do I stop my daughter from thinking 99 is defeat? Here's what I learned. Perfectionism isn't the opposite of failure. It's the opposite of courage. We live in a world addicted to image and hustle. Nearly 1 in 5 US adults report feeling lonely on a daily basis, while many industries will hit trillions of dollars monetizing our growing intolerance of imperfections. The expensive creams, the painful procedures, your next buy, they're not just products, they're promises. Promises that if we fix that one thing, we'll finally feel worthy. But they're not healing us. They're distracting us from the deeper, harder, more meaningful work of self-acceptance. Today, I will share with you 3 steps that help me build what I call the courage bridge, a way to cross the expectation gap of perfectionism. Step 1, the courage to examine your intentions. Ask yourself, are you moving towards your calling or hiding behind a glamorized image? Is that next degree for impact or to prove you're worthy? That next painful skin procedure, is that for your joy or rooted in self-hate and self-doubt? The intentions behind our actions matter. Developing the inner strength to examine them, that's step 1. Step 2, the courage to fail with self-compassion. How well do you fail? What do you make failure mean about yourself? When you get rejected, when you gain 5 pounds, when your child doesn't get into that perfect college, what do you tell yourself? Most perfectionists collapse under failure. We have wired our brain for years to criticize, not to comfort. The science is clear. Self-compassion is one of the most effective strategies to counter perfectionism. Here's a simple shift. The next time you stumble, instead of berating yourself, ask, would I talk to a loved one the way I just talked to myself? When you fail with self-compassion, you try again. When you try again, the odds of your success rise. And finally, step 3, the courage to model your humanity. This epidemic of socially prescribed perfectionism isn't happening in a silo. We all think perfection is expected from us, and we can tackle this one conversation at a time by openly sharing our fallibilities. The influencer who posts her messy kitchen, we love her. The friend who shares she's outsourcing tasks, we respect her more, not less. Perfectionism is isolating. Humanity is magnetic. We don't connect through someone's polish. We connect through their truth. So today, I want to leave you with a simple, yet bold and daring invitation. Share just one imperfect moment with your friend, your colleague, your child, or on social media. Start one conversation that says, I am showing up honestly, not perfectly. Because that's how we break the cycle of socially prescribed perfectionism by choosing bravery over image and building the courage bridge, the bridge that reconciles the expectation gap between who we think society demands us to be and who we truly are. Let's build this bridge together. Thank you.